was listening to a really powerful, sorry, Delicus, I was listening to a really powerful podcast during the week, and he was talking about how the role of the man, we were the protector. We would go out and catch food and do all these, really strong things. But now, we don't need to protect the household really that much anymore. We don't really need to go out and catch food or go out. We don't really even need to go out and make money. The women are making money now as well. And do you think that could perhaps contribute to this lost guidance and no reference point? Is like we're in this transition between what a man used to be and what a man is going to be?
I have this conversation almost every day, especially when I'm speaking about men's relationship with women, because the roles have changed, and for good reason. They needed to rebalance. We couldn't have a situation where women were not allowed to vote, and the things that women needed to earn to get back what we used to have. In tribal times, men and women were 100% equal. Not many people understand this. The agriculture was the domain of women, and they were responsible for the harvest. And if the men went to hunt and weren't able to be successful, the women literally sustained the tribe. So we had this complete equality of contribution. Women had sacred roles and sacred places. And so there was actually equality. There was no success in the tribe without the women. So you see indigenous cultures, when you look at them closely, they have beautiful traditions of honoring women, honoring sacred mothers and sacred deities around the role of women to create life and to carry life. So we had this really long history, and this is kind of a bit of a long answer, but this is kind of an area I geek out in, so forgive me. The patriarchy, as we call it now, which is kind of a bit of a triggering word for some people, especially in men's work, is actually the result of us growing food. So when we started growing food on a really big scale, we no longer were hunter-gatherers. So we no longer had that role of the man as the equal to the woman who could also forage. The man actually elevated in his role because he became the protector exclusively, and women were therefore relegated to property. So once we owned property, we owned land, we owned women, and we owned children. And then what we knew, we built walls and we raised armies. And so the rise of the warrior and the king as the energy of the patriarchy persisted for the last 10,000 years. And there was a necessary rebalancing that women needed to come back up to the level that men had put themselves in. The challenge for men is that rebalancing in a lot of ways has swung the pendulum too far. And there are now just confusions around the role between men and women. So a big part of the work that I do, when I work with men, often it's about actually equalizing a power imbalance with a really masculine energy partner, a woman who's going to work. The word boss bitch that women use for themselves, talks about the energy that women seek to embody of being dominant. And a lot of men struggle and are challenged by that idea. And there's a lot of work being done in the conscious women's work and men's work to rebalance that place where men can reassume the role of providing emotional protection, providing a way that makes sense to our modern society. It doesn't mean we hunt and gather, but we provide things, leadership in other ways, and that women don't necessarily need to stay home, but they can provide nurturing in a way that feels right for them, and that understanding that those things are probably more aligned with our natural desires is not a bad thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, what image came to, we're all about heroes, villains, victims, right? And so what sort of came to me was we've got a society now that's sitting in a real victim state or a villain state. Very few heroic states. And the victim state obviously is the one where, allows everything to happen to them, and they're just completely lost as to who they are, what they're doing, and where they're about. And the villain state is a little bit like when you were just saying there, this is the image that came to me, was it would be wonderful for the man and the woman to be able to do their roles, to be who they are without feeling threatened or having to manipulate to get recognition and all of this. So, and that's what the villain does. He comes in and he manipulates, he uses force and he uses control, and he's trying to take over, all thinking he's doing his bit as a hero, but he's doing it from a completely wrong state. So that was the image I had there. Was it would be wonderful to see that happening, but to be able to be doing it from a place of I'm not threatened by my wife or the women in society, because I know my role and I know who I am and I know what my part is that I'm playing, and they are doing theirs, and together a beautiful collaboration. It'll be just wonderful, wouldn't it?
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, and the secure masculine, and if I talk about a masculine man, the secure masculine is unintimidated by powerful women. In fact, he welcomes and he opens that space to receive the greatness of whatever it is that a woman or the partner will bring. And yeah, that's the work that I do with men, is to really help them understand who they are first. It's not looking outwards. It's not telling me about what your girlfriend or what your partner or wife is doing. It's about who are you being, and are you creating safety, and are you creating stability within yourself? Are you grounded to be able to receive what's there? And if a man is secure, a powerful woman's a fantastic ally, asset, and a gift.